Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar today. Today's topic is dedicated to e-commerce and delivering a valuable experience using headless commerce. We all know that e-commerce is a trending topic, especially with the pandemics. We have heard that Victoria's Secret has shut down 1,200 stores. Starbucks plans to shut down 400 stores. So that is a clear indication where the world is going through this year. Today with us, we have Marko Giczewski. He is an e-commerce business unit manager at Interworks, and he has been with Interworks for more than 11 years now. He has been working throughout his career with application development, more specifically with PHP. And he has a vast experience in the area. This year, as I mentioned, due to the pandemics and digitalization processes that have been all over the world, he is turning his focus towards e-commerce and Interworks as a company as well. We are always trying to stay up to date with the latest technology trends. So that is why we are investing our time and energy on e-commerce. So Marko, without further ado, you can start the presentation.
Thank you for attending this webinar. I appreciate your time. And sorry, mute my. Thank you for attending this webinar. I appreciate your time. Okay, sorry for that. So like I said, thank you for attending to this webinar and appreciate your time. So I will try in the next half an hour to share my ideas or my vision how the e-commerce will, let's say, affect our lives and what we need to pay attention to build a successful solution in this area. So we all know about the pandemic situation and how that began a few months ago. It affects clearly every business because we are all part of one network in this world. Buying products or services over the internet, it's not something new. It's something that basically happened a long time ago. So the first secure transaction that has been established over the web was made by NetMarker or Internet Shopping Network in 1994. Immediately after that, 1 year, Amazon have introduced their own shopping site, which was followed by eBay in 1995. So what we can see now is that even after 25 years, these solutions are still online, and we all know how much they are valued by the customers and how they favorize them. And most importantly, how much profit these solutions have made for the business owners. What we can see that currently is happening around us is basically every business owner that had brick and mortar business module had to react very fast on this COVID-19 situation, and they need to produce some e-commerce solution so their business can be still visible in these hard times. That said, the experts are saying that over 80% of the business owners will transform their physical shops into the e-commerce or online stores where their customers can do or perform their usual purchasing habits. If we look over the facts, it is expected that 2 billion digital buyers in the world will be present in 2020 or 2021. The experts are also saying that by the end of 2040, it's estimated that 95% of all purchases are going through the e-commerce solutions. This is a very big percent. Also, we can see that 93.5% of the global internet users have already purchased something over the internet, which means that the customers are getting more and more familiar and are starting to using these solutions more often. Over the years, we can see that the e-commerce are rising or growing by 23%, which is also a very high number of when we take into consideration how many years this type of solutions have been present into the market. Globally, one of the most used payment methods in these electronics transactions are the credit cards, or they are 53% of all transactions. And I will say that number one reason why the e-commerce are so often used and how this now in this pandemic it's rising up, it's based on the fact that people can do the shopping from home 24/7 or all hours of the day, which is very important. So now, since we saw the facts, I would like to talk about the latest trends that are part of the e-commerce. Of course, there are a lot of trends that anyone can think of, but I've made a list which I believe are very important to take in consideration when you think to convert your e-commerce or your business to e-commerce solution. So let's jump off some of them and explain why I believe this is very important. So online shoppers make purchases via mobile more than often on PC. We all know that today every person in this in the earth has a mobile or cell phone in their pocket. It's very easy to open your mobile phone and just browse over the some of the your favorite e-commerce application and order some products. It's estimated that by the end of 2021, 73% of the e-commerce sales will go through the mobile devices. Also, around 51% of the online shoppers conduct their purchases over the mobile, which is a very high percent. And like I said, over the years, this percent is going up. Next thing that I want to mention here is more ways to pay. It's very important to not limit your solution basically with one method, because not everyone is familiar with the payment provider that we are going to choose. So it's very wise and very attractive to have multiple payments which are well organized. Some of the customers are confident with the Apple Pay, some with PayPal, Stripe, and many other payment gateways. Next thing is the growing volume of voice search. Today we know that Google Assistant or Amazon Alexa or Siri over our mobile phones, even our PCs, are part of our daily work. We know how often we just saying, Alexa, turn on the light or turn off the television or something like that. And now people are getting more comfortable to basically start ordering their products using these voice search mechanisms. So it's very smart and very attractive to build your solution in this way, so you attract more customers that will in the end result with more profit from that solution. Next point are the chatbots. Chatbots are also very important shopping experience. We all know when we go to some site how often we are browsing or struggling to find some category of the products or some services that we want to find. Imagine that you have a chatbot that will immediately ask you a very simple questions, and in that way will reduce your time of finding the right place where you're trying to find the products you want to purchase. In this way, you can redirect the customers very fast to the specific location, and they can continue with their purchasing activities. Next one is the headless and API-driven e-commerce that allows continuous innovation. Further on, I have a slide for this where I will talk a little bit more, and we'll get in more details there. Next is the customer response to video. So we know how much the social media are present in our lives. Basically, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram are daily present in our life. Whenever we open our phone, we go to this and we something that is advertising. So the thinking here is you need to think about the solution that in a very easy way can share these products to the social media, and most importantly, it's to include a video representation of the products, because it's estimated that 75% of the customers which have seen a product review are then making the purchase, because they can see it in reality, how it is, not only just in image, and they give a closer look and feel of how that product will look. Next one is the recommendation engine. This is very important and very attractive in the last years, because it's something that the customers are like to see. You can imagine when you go to some e-commerce solution or website where you browse some products and you're interested in something, and then that e-commerce solution tracks your habits, your purchasing history, and see what you are interested in. And the next time when you visit, you immediately have similar products to what you have already purchased or what is your searching history, and give you something extra which can reduce, like I said, time when you are trying to buy some of the products. Subscription keeps the customers coming back. We all know how the newsletter, or most of us are feeling that someone is trying to spam us, but these spams or these newsletters can be used to get advantage for the customer. So if you combine what the customers want, what I've mentioned previously from the recommendation engines, you have the data, and then you just post that data to the newsletter for specific users. They will certainly go back to your e-commerce solution, where they can see actually the items that they were interested in before. They are seeing the same type of items now, which results with a much greater chance that they are coming back and purchase those items from your solution. And the last one is the product bundles and discounts. This is something that we have recently invested our time. I have also a slide furthermore where I will discuss some details. What I'm trying to explain here is that the product bundles will give the customers the possibility to browse faster over the products and reduce the number of errors they can make during their products. It can be used in specific cases, but it's very important to understand that reduces the customer's time, which represents the most valuable resource these days. So we talked about what are the trends. Now I want to take from another perspective. Having an e-commerce solution, it's easy, but what it's more important, it's to have that solution chosen or created wisely. We have different customers all around the world. They have different habits of purchasing items, and we need to pay attention on every action that they are taking there. There are different mechanisms to track their activities, and all of this is very important so you can create or make or select the appropriate solution. In this image, in this slide, we can see what are the reasons of abandonments during the checkout. This is very important because if we have a customer who abandoned the checkout process, it means that they did not complete the purchase flow from our website, and potentially we lost the customer and some profit. So from the list, we can see that the number one is extra cost or too high costs. This is very important, and it's very closely connected to which payment providers you're using. Some of them are calculating extra charges. Some of them are calculating fees based on the countries or the shipping address where you are making the order. And we need to select different type of methods or provide the possibility for the end users to select a different type of payment mechanisms where this cost can be reduced, and we will keep the customers satisfied and complete the order. Next one is the site want me to create an account. So these days we all know about the privacy, or how much the customers want to be private and not share their data with the rest of the world. So it is very important to have a functionality or to design your solution in a way that you will allow anonymous users or anonymous customers to complete the order. There are different mechanisms that can be used here. And in addition, you need to relate that order to that customer. So if there is some return policy, you'll be able to track it and return back. You can see some of that is basically mentioned here. Another interesting thing is too long or calculating checkout process. It's very important how you design or what is the layout you choose for the whole this flow. Because if you lead the user to a set of screens where they lose so much time in the end, they will not get comfortable to complete it because you have asked so much questions. Needs to be precise, needs to be clear, and in 1 or 2 pages to complete the full checkout. The rest of the list, as you can see on the screen, are just another things that we need to pay attention. And I will say that all of these are real problems that we are facing and we need to pay close attention when we are building an e-commerce. We want our customers to be satisfied, happy, and they should find what they are looking for very fast, because like I said before, the time is the most valuable resource that we have these days. Okay, so now let's talk about the headless commerce. So like I said before, today we have many platforms that can offer out-of-the-box e-commerce solution. Probably you have heard about Shopify, BigCommerce, Magento, WooCommerce, Wix, and there are a lot of. These are top 10 2020 and 2021. But not all of these services or platforms can, let's say, cover all of the trends or all of the problems that we have, which is expected and normal. I'm not saying that they are not good. On the opposite, they are in the number 10 e-commerce leaders today. But we need to think about something else, something that will bring more value, something that will, let's say, reduce the number of problems or number of errors that can happen during this solution. So, excuse me. So what I'm talking about here, it's a headless commerce. So when you hear the terminology headless commerce, it's not something new, something big or something that you have never heard before. Probably you have basically worked with this in the past. So by definition, we can clarify that e-commerce, it's basically separation from the front end and the backend side. So the front end side represents the layout, the application level, what the end user is seeing, and the backend side is basically what is the whole logic into the background, making the orders, related customers, creating the payments and other things. The simplest definition is that what I've mentioned and describes the headless commerce. So if we think why we should choose a headless commerce, so today in the top 10 e-commerce platforms started to provide this service. Basically, they see that people are getting more comfortable with this way, and they can build much more custom solutions. They can bring more experience to the customers, and in that way, more customers to the business owners. So I would like to mention a few benefits that I believe are very important why you should choose a headless commerce. So the first one will be a better development adaptation. Not all developers are fan of the change of their main expertise. What I mean here is that some clients are fan of some platforms that provide this type of e-commerce or e-commerce headless providers, and they are built in some technology. But we as developers, we don't know or we are not familiar with that technology. It's very hard to service that client. What the headless commerce provide us is, because it's using APIs to get all the data, we can use this advantage basically. And in that way, we can still create this solution in our main or the technology that we are comfortable at, and just connect with the e-commerce platform that the client has already chosen. Next one is the flexible front-end development. Like we said before, since the headless commerce, it's making a decouplement between the front-end and the back-end part, the developer has many possibilities in selecting the most appropriate presentation technologies. It can go with Angular, React, Vue.js, or whatever other technology we have these days, because we know how often we have these new things coming up, and they're interesting for our clients. So in this way, the front-end developer, it's not restricted to the technology of the backend. because the backend can be Java and, for example, I'm PHP developer, and it will be hard to synchronize. But in this way, I can create the front-end application layer in PHP and connect or just integrate with the backend, which is based on Java. Next one is the customization and personalization. Then very similar to the previous one, since the headless component does not provide the front end, the developers can create their own personalized solutions. These solutions will be created from scratch and allowing to the developers to customize and bring more experience to the users, and they can create different sections and different possibilities. And the fourth is time saving, which I believe it's the most important. When we are using a headless commerce, all of the products related records or orders or customers or categories, whatever is related for one e-commerce part, it's basically used as retrieving data over API from the e-commerce providers that are providing such a solutions. This means that the developer will not spend time to develop this functionality, and it significantly reduce the cost of this type of solutions. So, since we saw what is the headless commerce, I want to share some experience that we have in the past few months, and how I would like to represent this experience to you. Like I said, in the past few months, we had a chance to work with one of headless commerce providers. It's called Commerce Tools, and they have very good documentation. First of all, they provide a wide range of technologies. They are including PHP, Java, .NET. They are including their services for testing and stuff like that. So we built our e-commerce solution over this, let's say, platform. And how I would like to describe it, it's over this BPMN diagram. So basically, we can see here in the top that we have the user interface, which actually represents the application where the user have all the interactions with the solution. Then we have service layer, which is basically the backend on our side, on our application, that connects our application with the commerce tools or the headless commerce platform. And the last layer represents the payment gateway, which of course it's separation for all of this, but we are using in our solution to complete everything. So if we start from the beginning, usually the users are going and search over categories, products and bundles. So once they have the products and bundles, we need to retrieve them somehow. So we are using our service layer to get them. And as we can see from this diagram, they are retrieved from the commerce tools. Basically, we get a list of categories which have related products. And once we combine them, we can show them to the end user. In that way, the end user can select some of the products. You can see here that I have a different service, which I will describe afterwards because I find it interesting. Once they select a product, they're going to add some of the products to the cart. Once the products are to the cart, the next step is to go to the checkout process. This is normal flow, which most of the e-commerce solutions that you can find over the internet, some of them free, some of them commercial, can provide you. Once you create the checkout cart, then you need to create an order. In our case, we have created order on our service layer, and then we have just informed the commerce tools that in their side, they should update the inventory management system or where the orders are managed. They should create a related customer to that order, and then they should mark all the inventory or all the items that are part of that order. In the end, we are just going to the final order or the payment confirmation, where we need to complete the process, the purchase flow. Then on our side, we initiate the process payment functionality, which integrates, like I said, with some of the most used payment providers. Once we get positive feedback or negative, we can handle that and just update commerce tools about the end result. And in the end, the user has completed their purchase activities. So what, in addition, I want to say here is the business flow for product selection. So like I said, we have many different solutions that are present into the market this day, and you can simply choose one of them and have your commerce. But if you want to attract some more customers or make your solution to be more interesting, to attract more visitors, you need to invest in something new, something which will make you different from the others and the competition, and the customers will go to you. So previously, I've described what is the standard or regular purchase flow, where you browse categories, you select a single product or multiple products, add to cart, complete the process, and get confirmation. What we have designed is a product bundle purchase flow, which is based on rules engine. This rules engine basically connects a different type of products into the same bundle, and that bundle is configured in a way that will lead the customer itself through the process of buying or purchasing the stuff that he wants, and it will reduce the number of errors that they can make. Imagine that you are going to an online shop where you want to buy some PC configuration. We know that there are many parts that are compatible or not compatible between. So in the image, we can see that we have this bundle product selection where we can group, for example, some specific products in that bundle, and based on some rules that are doing some validation checks, and those rules are predefined on our side, which can be applied to the whole process, and in the end will be connected to the products. When we have the rules applied to the products, we can show the bundle to the user, and we can guide the user to the whole process. So in the end, like I said, the user can select the most appropriate products for them, and they don't waste so much time to do that, and even reduce the costs. Because usually in bundles like this, we can add some extra discount and item discount and very similar things. So in the next slide, I would like to present one demo application that I've created to get more close to the product bundles that I mentioned here, and how I see this will help the customers. So you can see now, once the user goes to the bundle, he can get a list of bundles. So like I said, this is just a demo, and you can play with the layout or different parts of the application as you want or the customer want. So you have a possibility to select some of the bundles. When you select the bundle, we, like I said, connect what are the items or what are the rules that are applied to those items. Sorry. Just a second. Okay, here. So we can see that now we have a few items, and in the top we have a message that guides us to the process of making this purchase completed. So as we can see, we have please select one motherboard into the bundle. So at the bottom, we can see that we already have two types of motherboards. This one was variants, and this one was a regular or single bundle. Again, this solution is built over commerce tools, and we were using some of the functionalities that they're providing. So we can create single products, we can create a products that have variants in them, or we can create a products which represent features. So by feature, we are meaning that I'm trying to buy a motherboard, but in motherboard, I can have Asus, Gigabyte, or whatever, any other manufacturer it's making the motherboards. After that, once we have selected the desired, let's say, product, or once we have following the bundle instructions, now we can see that we are receiving a new message saying that we must select a variant of this product. So the user is guided again to the process. Once we do that, we can see that now the bundle configuration looks okay. These messages are customizable completely. You can play whatever you want. They can pop up from the left, top side, it doesn't matter. This is just a presentation to get more closer to the idea that we are trying to build and how we are trying to make more valuable product to our customers. So we can see now that the bundle is okay, but There are other products, of course, in this bundle, and the customer can continue purchasing them. Now, I have selected one additional, in our case, SSD disk, which immediately triggered the validation of the rules that are created against this bundle and this product, and saying that besides this product, we should have two types of cables, because if we get the SSD disk, how we are going to connect to the motherboard? We need the cables. In this way, like I said, we are guiding the user to the process of the purchasing, and in that way, we are making sure that he does not make mistake. So he ordered the motherboard and the hard disk and forgot about the cables. When he receives, he don't receive the item home, he don't have the possibility to connect them. In this way, we are going to help the customers and make them happier in the end. So now the user selects the items, and immediately we can see that configuration, it's okay. Sorry. What happens next is that the user is changing the, I don't know what is happening. What is happening, the user is changing the quantity of the hard disk, which means that he ordered two. In that way, it means that we need to have the same quantity of the cables, because if we have two disks, we are going to miss the cables to connect the second disk. So the solution gives you the possibility to increase the quantity. And once you increase the quantity, you have the orders. Now we are going to the checkout process. And like I said, it's very important. This is just an example how we have designed it. You can see that in this section, we are just representing the products. And now we are not able to calculate the fees, because the fees or the tax is very closely connected to the shipping address. So you need to be careful how you design. Like I said, more customers have different habits, and maybe in your solution, you need to avoid this one, or this one can be used to show a discount, or maybe promotion for some other products that you can add to the cart. And in the end, we are on the checkout process, where the user can provide his billing information. It's very important to use some of the modern technologies like tracking pixel, where we will know in which moment that the user maybe abandoned the cart, because if we provide too much information here where they want to gather, someone will just abandon the cart. So the next time we know what of these steps were extra, we can reduce them, and we can just speed up the process. In the end, we are just completing the order where the customer will receive the confirmation on their site. Okay, so that was basically what I have planned to describe or to share with you. Now we have an open session for your questions and answers, and feel free to shoot some questions. Hi.
Thank you, Marco, for the wonderful presentation. So I see that we have some open questions. From Andre, we have a question. How much is the time needed from idea to realization for an e-commerce solution?
Okay, very interesting question. So, like I said, one of the benefits that this headless commerce is providing, basically it has all the information which relates payments in products, customers, and orders. You don't need to, let's say, develop this from scratch. You have it like a full package from the provider, which means that basically you need time just to develop the front end or the representation layer. In our experience, we estimate in average in 2 weeks that we are going to be able to deliver a solution like this, where we can have a full functionality of listing categories, products, making an order, and completing the order by the end users.
Thank you, Marco. Any other questions? We have one from Yasmina. Hi, Marco. I have a question regarding the costs. Do you think that an e-commerce solution will reduce costs?
Yes, very good question again. So we all know that the business owners want to have their solution as quick as possible and at lowest cost. But you can imagine that having a physical shop basically have costs as well. So you need to pay a rent for the place where your shop is having all the, let's say, services provided to the customers. Maybe you have multiple stores across the country, and all of that costs money. In addition to this, you have the employees that need to be physically present into the shops so they can answer the customers, make everything related to the sales, and even more different actions. So you can imagine that all of this costs time. Also, when you're building a solution, will cost time, but once you have it, you don't need to pay all of this on monthly basis, because the employees are here today, tomorrow, next month, next year, and you have continuous costs. With the e-commerce solution, you just pay it once. Of course, you can have a maintenance, but that is significantly reduced to the actual cost that the physical shops and the owners have these days.
Thank you, Marco. Great answer. We have another question from Blagoy. What is the future of e-commerce? Do you expect the online retail expansion to continue growing strong even after the pandemics?
Yes, like I said in some of the slides, so over the years, the e-commerce is growing by 23%. It is estimated that in the US, by the end of next year, it will have $4 trillion basically made of retail products. This means that the e-commerce will not stop. We saw that it started 25 years ago, and now, based on this pandemic situation, people have different habits. This situation changed our lives. So once we see that we can make our favorite purchases from home, we can certainly shop from home, and we can continue that in the future, because we wasted less time. We have the products delivered at home. We didn't get into the city mess, and in the end, we have what we wanted. So I strongly believe that the e-commerce will be something worth investing in the future, and you should keep interested in all the trends and make your solution as much as possible to these trends.
Thank you. Let me just check if we have some questions on Facebook on our live stream. And you can continue asking questions here as well. We have one question from Marian on our Facebook stream. Can you tell us a little bit more about the recommendation engine used in your product?
Yes. Yes, so like I said, recommendation engine is very important. In our case, we have experienced several things here. First of all, we have used the recommendation engine that Commerce Tools provide from their side. They have their own business logic. They have a good documentation. Basically, you send what product you want to get similar products, and on their side, they find some suitable products and provide you into the backend. So you can use, like I said, some of the already existing services or providers that are offering something like this. But we wanted to create something more intuitive, something more applicable, something that we can have control over. And in our case, we have, in that purpose, we have used Neo4j, which is a graph database driven technology where we have created this recommendation engine. And the interesting part here is the latency that we have when we try to get the recommended products is very small. And in addition, it can scale very rapidly. Because we are owners of this, let's say, functionality, we know how we can fill this recommendation engine with new products, what data we want to collect for these products, how they are going to be returned. And you can create different scenarios. Even you can create recommended customers. So if we have one customer that have purchased this type of products and the same customer have similar products, then we can make a connection between them and provide what the customer A has purchased to the customer B, because they already have over the purchase history some of their products available.
Thank you. We are open for questions. We have another question. What tools do you use in developing e-commerce solutions?
Okay, like I said, because our solution is based on headless commerce, in our case, we have used a Laravel as a backend or a service layer of the application, and we have used Vue.js for the front-end side. Like I said, you're not restricted to which technology you're going to use. It doesn't matter, because as a developer, maybe you know C# or maybe Java, so you can use whatever your favorite technology is. You can just apply all these layouts, all these, let's say, functionalities, specific sections, specific flows into the application and develop in a way that you have developed so far. This is very important and very, let's say, high benefit for the headless commerce, because you don't need to learn something new. You don't need to, let's say, charge for extra for the customers to say, okay, we are going to develop this, but we need something to make a research and design about that. And after that, we can start with development. This is cost effective and it's very, very useful.
Thank you, Marco. Do we have any other questions? At the moment, no. So I guess your presentation was great and thorough, probably answered all of our viewers' questions. We will wait another minute or two. I don't see any other questions. So thank you, Marco, again, for your great presentation. Thank you to everyone that attended our webinar and spared some time to be with us. We hope that you liked our presentation. For any other questions or comments or suggestions you might have, make sure you contact us at sales@interworks.com MK. Bye-bye, have a good one.
Thank you for your insight and bye-bye.